Hi everybody, this is a redo of the Polymer Clay Thanksgiving turkey pins. And this is what you're going to need. I had this on before, but I had music with it. And you guys just don't like the music, and I don't blame you. So we are going to get started here, and we're just going to make a round ball. And this is, it's brown, and we are going to make the tail to begin with. And there are two different ways you can make the tail. And the first way that I show you is, as I say there, if you're making only one, two, or maybe three pins, that you can do it this way. But if you want to make a lot of pins, then we're going to do I believe it's called the bullseye cane, and it's very, very easy, and it will make making the tail much easier for you and quicker. Which, of course, if you want to sell them and make money, time is of the essence. So if you can make them quicker, you make more money. And just follow what I'm doing here, and I am pressing them fairly flat. Not too flat, but we are going to be building the turkey body on top of this. And you don't have to use the colors I use. You can use whatever colors that you want. Well, not really, turkey colors. You got to keep it in the Thanksgiving oranges and yellows and browns. Keep it in that theme. I think I've told you the story about the turkey that came into my yard, and the cats were just kind of looking at it, and I went out to check on it, and it came running towards me, and I turned around and ran into the house, and then my big cat came and chased it, and it flew about 30 feet up into a tree. I'd never seen a turkey fly like that. Then a few days later, I went across the street to the neighbor's house, and there was the turkey. And it was a wild turkey, and wild turkeys look much different than I guess you call them domesticated turkeys. And he had one of the turkeys that you're used to seeing with the big tail. He had one of those there too. And I said, that turkey was just in my yard. And apparently it was a wild turkey that had become his pet. And I'm sure that turkey was wondering, why is she running away? I may have told you this story on well, no, because the other turkey video has music, so I guess I didn't tell it to you there. Now remember, folks, when I forget things and I repeat myself, I'm 71 years old, and when you're 71 years old, people tend to repeat themselves. So bear that in mind when you laugh at me for repeating things, because one day you will be there too, hopefully. Hopefully you'll get old. And you can do these colors any way you want. And not really the colors that you want to do, but you can do them in any sequence that you want to put it on there. And this is kind of a big turkey pin. And when you do it the um, with the cane, it'll be smaller. I put the black around it, but you could have left it with just the red. That would have been fine too. Put them, like I said, in any order that you want to. I think I have a picture of that turkey that flew up into the tree. I may have shown that to you already. I don't remember. Now, someone asked me where I got that roller that I just used. That is from Pampered Chef, and one of my sister's friends was selling that, and that was about 25 years ago that I purchased that, and it works great. And there is a larger roller on the other end of that. Now you see what we're doing here. Now don't press too hard when you're pulling the clay down, because you don't want to go all the way through. You just want to stay on the top. And I made this video quite a few years ago, and I'm really learning how to do the videos better. I'm getting there. Slowly but surely. And I'm just texturing his body. You can texture it any way you want, but this is quick and easy. And he's dressed up for Thanksgiving, not dressed to be eaten, but just dressed up. I've never been a big meat eater. I've probably told you this before. Even as a child, I guess I was kind of strange that I would rather eat the vegetables than the meat, but I still don't really care to eat meat too much. And my son, oh my gosh, if he could just eat meat, that's all he would eat. But yeah, I don't really. I feel sorry for the animals, and I just need to get that out of my head. I'm a big animal lover. I even don't like to kill bugs, and I think I've told you that before too. So have you ever thought about, and this this is really bizarre. Okay, we're putting the feet on, and we put the vest on. I shouldn't even. I should be telling you what to do. Um, the next thing we're going to do are his wings, and they're going to go on top of the vest. And I'm using the knitting needle, and you can use the end of the paintbrush to texture the wings. We're dressing him up like a pilgrim. I'm going to do the white collar when I get around to it there. I'm narrating this on a Sunday, and I drove up to my house because my brother has people there with him today. And it was sunny blue sky when I left my brother's house, and I got up here about 40 miles to my house, 40 miles north of his house, and it's cloudy and cold. Strange, but that's okay. All right, now we've put a round ball on for his head. Now we're making his little pilgrim hat. I wonder what that hat's called. I should have researched that. I know there's probably a name for it. Now we're going to do the hat brim. I'll put it on and then squeeze it to make it a little flatter with a crisp edge. There you go. And at this point, it almost looks like a snowman hat. And his beak, and I know turkeys don't have beaks like that, so this is artistic license, I guess. I know that looks more like a duck beak, but for our purposes, we will put it on. And this, I believe, is what they call is it a wattle? I should look that up. Well, maybe that's not what it is. Well, I looked it up and apparently that's not what it is, so I will have to get back to you on that. And here we are doing the hat, and we are almost done. And the eyes, and of course you can paint the eyes on if you prefer, or you can put in seed beads, whatever you prefer. Go. And don't have him staring straight forward. Make him look to the side or up or down, but don't give him that deer caught in the headlights look. Oh, excuse me. I took a little break because someone came to the door. So let's get back to this turkey here. And now we're going to do like I guess it's a buckle on the hat. Yeah, I think it is. So we're just going to do some little black ropes, whatever you want to call them, strips, whatever. And we will put them on there. And I've got to tell you that this was the worst part of doing this pin. I hated doing this part. I really, really did. I don't know why. I guess it was just a little bit of a pain in the neck. I don't know. So I took that little break and I ate my lunch, and now I've got food stuck in my teeth. Not that you care. And why should you? I'm sorry. Now we're going to do the little white buttons, and you can also paint these on after baking if you want to. But I like to do it before because I like to minimize the painting. I want to paint as little as possible. And there he is. I'm going to put a little blush on him. You won't really see it. Well, you'll see it, but it's very faint, but you don't have to do it. And he is ready to go into the oven. But first, we will do his little cousin. And as I said, we're going to make a jelly roll. Nope, we're not making a jelly roll cane. We are making a bullseye cane. Jelly roll cane is something totally different. And I suppose you could do one of those, but this is better. Now we're going to start with our center. So we're just going to make a log, and it's going to be a brown log. And then we're going to wrap it with just with layers of our next colors. See how we have it wrapped around? And then we're just going to keep on layering the colors. Just wrap them around. And it's called a bullseye cane because it looks like a target. At least I think that's why it's called that. And see, with this one, you don't really have to worry about doing the seams too much. Try to make sure you get the seams together. But if you don't, just put that section towards the bottom, and the body will cover it. Now, canes are not my specialty, but this one is so easy, a 5-year-old could probably do it. So I have worked with 5-year-olds in a kindergarten class. They were actually pretty good. They didn't make canes, but they made the little Santa heads. See, now this is big enough to do for the tail. And since it's a pin, you don't want it to be too big. You could add more layers on if you want to. And this one's going to be smaller. I think I made the larger one just a little too big, but I thought it would be easier for you to see it in the video. Now we're going to texture it. And just lightly pull down on the clay. Don't press all the way through. And the procedure is going to be exactly the same as for the other one, except on a smaller scale. And of course, it's up to you how big you want to make it. But you can see that if you want to make a lot of them, You can just cut the slices off the cane for the tail. And as I say there, it's a great time saver. And you know what they say, if you're selling them, time is money. And I just went through the whole thing. I jumped ahead, and it's made exactly the same as the other one. And I know you probably didn't want to go through that whole thing again and watch it. So after you bake it and it's cool, glue on a pin back. Use a super glue. Please do not use a glue gun. It may seem quicker and easier, but they just don't hold. And make sure you check all your pins that they open and close before you glue them on, because sometimes those pins, those pin backs, they just do not open. See, I could have made lots and lots of pins with that. And of course, blush before you bake. Don't need a lot of blush on these guys. Oh, and I forgot to put his little white buttons on, so I'm sure I'm going to paint them on when he's all done.